Y'all listen to my ethereal brother speak this truth, this divine truth. And then I'm going to come back and piggyback on what he said a little bit. Man, he broke this shit down.
True peace, sister. So look, read this vibe there. You see that? When I read that one, that gave me a whole new precept that really upgraded it in this day and time in my walk. You feel me? That's why it's a lot of them, regardless of what their earth suit is, that's why it's a lot of them can't relate. You know what I mean? Because genetically they're predisposed at a different level than where we at. You know what I mean? Those of us who come from that genetic alignment of royalty and high science and high state of mind and presence of thinking and being and so forth, we come from that vibe in our code. That's why it can align through us so prevalently, you feel me? Whereas a great majority were in the lesser mysteries, you know what I mean? Or maybe even less than that. So genetically they predisposed to that vibration of consciousness. With that being said, that's why for us, those already in alignment with such higher consciousness of being, that's why it frustrates us and we don't understand, or we be confused like, why these mugs in this time cycle so ignorant and so blind to what is plainly in sight? And that's because genetically they predisposed already from coming from a lower rank or a lower class of beings genetically, you feel me? And there's nothing to take from them. It's the facts of it. It's the facts of it. Some of them is descendants of peasants, traders, thieves, warmongers. You know what I mean? What do you want to say? For lack of a better word, regular layman people. You feel me? And then there are those of us who are aligning with our higher celestial ancestral lineage, because we come from that. So, you know, that also give the vibes of, oh, okay, you know, many are called, few are chosen, and less than that actually make the grade. You know what I mean? Sometimes what we speaking is falling on not deaf ears, you feel me? Just ones that can't translate this type of vibration or frequency. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't come from that. But we still here as caretakers to, what do you want to say, assist them and aid them in the opportunity of growth. Because it's not saying they can't learn. It's morally saying it's just they're not of the seed. You know what I mean? They're not of that consciousness seed to where it naturally just clicks in them, like it do for me, for you, and for others out here that are being voices of truth as volunteers. You feel me? For Mission Earth. So, yeah, sister.
So before I go in, I want to make sure I make this disclaimer. The video that I made the other day, a lot of people have messaged me, and I'm so thankful for those of you that have checked on me, asking me if I'm okay. I am a Cancer sun, okay? I'm a Cancer, and I'm a Life Path 9, okay? So I'm super passionate about humanity. I just am. I don't know why it's like that, but it is. So when I was crying, I wasn't crying from like a place of stress. I'm not stressing over these nigga bots, y'all. I'm not stressing over these nigga bots. Y'all know I ain't stressing over these niggas, right? It was more so I'm very connected to mama. I'm super connected to Mother God and Mother Gaia, Mama Gaia and Mother Cosmos. It was more so me channeling Mother. It was her just moaning and crying for the people, for the planet. It was a channeling of the Divine Mother. You know, that's where all of this came. All of this came from the divine womb. It was that. It was just like, oh, my people. Oh, and it was me, but it wasn't me, if that makes sense. Okay, I channel a lot, and you know, now that I'm carrying, I kind of have to be very light with the channeling because it's very exhausting, very exhausting. But I'm okay. All right. But I am so glad my brother sent me this today, because I was like, man, y'all, That is so, so, so true. And I know I've known this, but the way he broke that down, it was just like, that's it. This is it. This is why I say all skin folk ain't kinfolk. And I think I've said this in a video before, you know, all of us, just because you have melanin, it doesn't mean you're royalty. It doesn't mean you're divine. It doesn't, you know? And just because you have ancestors and you're connected to ancestors doesn't mean they were all royal. That's just what it is, man. It's just the truth. You know, and it was like this in every life cycle. You had that system of, there were the people that were the priests, the pharaohs, the kings, the queens, the royal families, the high priestesses, the philosophers, the scientists, the technologists. You had all of them, and then you had the others, the peasants, the traders, the whoremongers, the thieves, the rats, okay? And it is what it is. And this is what we see being played out in this life cycle. There are a group of people that share our sciences. They look like us. They have the same melanin as us, the same components as us, but they're not able to access these codes. They're not able to ascend into a higher state of awareness and consciousness. They're not galactic beings because their ancestors weren't. Okay? And because genetically, this is very true, like genetic predisposition, all of that all plays a part into everything. Some of our people are just predisposed to bullshit, into negative ass, low level, lower vibrational shit. And your ancestors was on that shit too. Can I just keep it $1.50? It's in the genetics. It's in the genetics. Like, it just is. There's programming in every family that the chosen one has to break. But when you've been predisposed to certain things, you naturally have a tendency and a bent to go towards that. I remember a perfect example. I made a video about the traits of an Anunnaki goddess, and this lady had commented and was like, "No, the queens were whores. The queens of old were whores. How could you say that the ancestors were not?" Pretty much like they were whoring. And I was like, "What the fuck? Like what?" Like I said, "What?" I said, "No. My ancestors were queens. I don't know what you're talking about." Like, when I channel and tap into this DNA and activate this shit, and I start speaking from an ancestral lineage, all I know is queen, kingdom living. That's all I know. I was like, no, my ancestors weren't no damn whores. What the fuck you talking about? That's your ancestors, not mine. Don't put that on me. That's what we see playing out here, you know? And it's an even further divide, you know, but it's getting closer to within our people. You know, we're noticing this within the conscious community, the spiritual community, you know, the melanated community. Everybody wasn't predisposed to righteousness. All right, not religiousness, righteousness. Everyone didn't come from royalty. And, you know, this new earth is prepared for those who are righteous. I'm just letting y'all know. It's prepared for those who are ready to step into royalty. And you are on the frequency and the vibration to be and take part in that experience, because it's you are the new earth. And eventually all of us that are on this frequency, we will all merge together. And the ones that are faking and shaking, because you can't fake vibration, my people. You can try and act like you're all spiritually in tune and you got your shit, you got all the tools, and you do all this stuff and you say the terms, you use the terminology, I'm Hotep, the Ankh, the this, the that. You can know all that shit, but it's a vibration, it's a frequency, it's a code. It's a code. The new earth is a code. It's a code within our DNA. It's in our DNA. It's in our genetics. And the ones that are ready to access that code, naturally you will see your world beginning to change. The colors start getting brighter, things start to change, you start to change. Things change because it's you. And everybody's not going to experience this. There's a very, very, very few amount of people, like small, that are not going to experience this. But eventually, we will weed out the ones. We're going to weed out the weak. We already are. It's happening now. We're weeding out the weak, you know. And we're seeing everybody and everything for what it is and who they are. And, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. Those of higher vibration will eventually merge together. Now, this isn't to say that everybody that didn't come from a lineage of, you know, righteousness can't, you know, ascend. It's not saying that at all. It's available to everybody. It's available. Salvation is available to all of those who are willing and ready to receive. However, a lot of people are not going to receive salvation, which is you recognizing the God within you, the divine within you, and aligning that with righteousness and tapping into the kingdom of heaven, which is you. A lot of people won't, because of just what they're predisposed to. It has a lot to do with everything. But many of you will, and many of you are going to break that curse, that cycle of negative predisposition. You'll break it. You know, some of y'all don't want to carry on the negative relational bullshit that is amongst our people. You know, men not being able to get along with the women, women not being able to get along with the men, single mother households, all of that. You know, many of you want to break that, and you can. You absolutely can. Many of you want to break the, you know, financial lack mentality, the poverty mentality. You know, you'll be the first zentrillionaire in your family, and you can. You can. You know, it's absolutely possible. You know, along with that comes the reality of it's just a lot of niggas out here that just ain't gonna get it, and it's all right. It's okay. You know, this is an exciting time. So that's my little spiel for today. I really wanted to share my brother and that message that he sent, because it was just so, like, divine. And listen, y'all, I appreciate you. Listen, those of you that message me, that check on me, that send me voice recordings, that fill me up, I so appreciate y'all. Y'all are the VIPs. Y'all are the MVPs. Y'all are the shit. All right? Because, you know, my job and my mission, a part of it is to bring truth to light. That's just a part of my mission. So naturally, I'm just compelled to do that. And it be getting exhausting sometimes, just pouring. So it's nice to just have people that care enough to pour back into you. I love and I appreciate y'all. And I send y'all abundance and power and divine cosmic light. Thank y'all for doing that. We all look out for each other. Anunnaki descendants, Palladian descendants, 9 ether family. We're all here. 144,000. Rise up. It's our time.